Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you, friends. Thank you for joining the meeting today. I want to request my co-facilitator, Dr. Gioko, to use the slide, whatever slideshow mode. Kindly use the slideshow mode so that, is that the mode you're using? Yeah, good. Thank you so much. Good. So friends, thank you so much for joining today's meeting. We are excited to present to you a session on the Sustainable Development Goals. We will be doing this in bits because it is not possible to talk about the Sustainable Development Goals in one sitting within 1 hour, then you are done. So before we get into the learning session, let me request Fanuel to pray for us.
Good evening, everybody, and let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to meet once again on this platform to discuss matters of sustainable development. We pray that as we meet and even as we discuss, that the insights that we get are from you and that we'll put them into practice in making this world a better place than we have found it. We pray for our facilitators, Dr. Tina and Dr. Gioko. Bless them and give them more wisdom, that as they share it with us, it will be impactful, not just to us, but to the generations to come. Guide us even in our establishments, in schools, and even in our homes, in our communities, that what we do shall have a lasting positive impact for the glory and success of your kingdom. We pray this, trusting and believing in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And so at this point, I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. Feel at home. I just want to say feel at home so that we learn, be here, want to be here. Remember, I've always said there is a difference between wanting to and having to, because wanting to comes from the heart. You desire, you have the urge, you have the passion to be there. So I want you to want to and not have to, because if you have to, it means you're doing it to please someone. So we are here to learn so that we can develop ourselves, so that we can be able to impact in the society. So we have been doing quite well. And from the beginning, I had given you some, what can I call them? Some, what can I call them? Inspirational, inspirational moments, rather words that you can use to inspire yourself to be able to do what you desire to do as a champion of education for sustainable development. And the slide that has just been projected gives us a summary of everything that we are doing in education for sustainable development. So today I wanted to introduce you to DIN, D-I-N. Do it now. Yeah, do it now. Don't say I will do it tomorrow. You have that urge. You want to do something. You want to make a difference. Do it now. And remember, it's about the head, the heart, and the hands. Dr. Maina, please introduce yourself and tell us something small about the head, the heart, and the hands.
Thank you very much, Doctor. My name is Maina Gioko, as you have heard, and the issue is a holistic influence on all aspects of whatever we do. That any aspect that we are addressing, we have the cognitive approach to it. But as we do the cognitive approach, we also address the affective domain, which is the heart. But then it's not about knowing, but it's also about doing. And how we do is influenced by our perspective, our attitude, as well as value. So the triple H is a holistic approach to anything that we are doing. And it gives us a wholesome from cognitive, affective, and behavioral aspects. As I've told you, my name is Maina Gioko. I'm the Director of Learning and Park Applied. How about you, Doc?
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. And in today's session, we are having participants from different parts of the world. We have people from Ghana, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, the United Kingdom, Canada, South Sudan. If you're here and I've not mentioned your country, please, can you just shout that I'm here? You've not mentioned my country?
Zambia.
Awesome. Zambia is here. Any other? Thank you so much. Thank you very much. You're all invited. Feel at home, and we are on. We want to learn. Dr. Gioko, we want to learn. Can you take us forward?
Yes, it's important that we learn. And in this series, we are looking at leadership. And when you unpack leadership, we want to see these influencers, these people who give direction. What role do they play in terms of sustainable development? Are they championing? Are they sparking it? Are they guiding it? Are they scaffolding the direction? So we want to position ourselves, because leaders, in most of the time, they are the holders of the vision. They're the ones who have an idea, and they are the ones who to champion the idea. So we want to have a discussion and ask ourselves, what is our role as leader? Or when you have that opportunity to influence, what is your role? And how are you going to make things move in this spectrum of SDG? So that is what we really want to unpack in this particular session. Also, we'd like to welcome all of you across the countries, all over. I've seen Ghanaians, they are here, Ugandans, Zambian, Ethiopians, Zimbabweans, UK. Welcome to this discussion. And in this discussion, we would like to collaborate so that we co-create new knowledge based on what we are bringing on board. All of us are bringing experiences, knowledge, exposure, understanding, and therefore we'll have this roundtable discussion and share our perspective so that at the end of all this, we have a clear guidance of what we like to take forward in terms of implementation with clear actions that we want to do. So in today's session, I want to share what we are aspiring to do. One is to revisit the SDG goals so that we all tune in the SDG goals. Then after that, we will unpack the role of leadership. We'll talk about this ship, which is influenced by followership. And in the followership, there are many people who are following this leader. So what is the role of this leadership? Then we'll have an opportunity to dive into 2 case studies and see and explore what is the leader doing here and how is the leader influencing. Then we'll empower you now and throw it to you to have a group discussion and share about the challenges and opportunities that leaders have in terms of ensuring that SDG is a success. And to cap it all, we'll give you an opportunity now to identify, because we want you to have a takeaway, which is strategic and implementable. So we like to hear from you. What is it that you want to take away? When are you going to do it? And if it succeeds, how will it look like? Over to you, Doc.
Okay, thank you so much for taking us through what we aspire to do today. And we are going to talk about Sustainable Development Goals. What are the SDGs? What are the SDGs? In short, we want to say that we are talking about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that are actually universal. This is a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity by 2030. These are goals that were adopted in 2015 by all United Nations member states.
Nataka ni tofauti na chapati nusu. Staki nyingi.
Okay, kindly purpose to remain muted so that you don't interrupt the learning session. Thank you very much. And so what we are simply saying, we are saying that these goals were adopted in 2015, and we hope to fulfill each and every goal or target by the year 2030. So as we are here today, we want to ask ourselves the question, how far are we from achieving each of these sustainable development goals? So if you look at the next slide, this is a little bit clear. So we are talking about 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are defined in a list of 169 Sustainable Development Goals targets. And they are tracked by unique indicators, which are 232. That tells you that each of these goals has got strings attached. It is not just about no poverty and you stop there. You have to go deeper and look at the targets and look down if there are indicators. What are the indicators of this particular goal? Dr. Gioko?
And I think because they have indicators, it's very important for us to be able to drill down and identify these indicators, because it will help us now to track where are we in this journey and strategically position ourselves to be able to realize what we are. But the best thing about them is the way that they can be grouped in terms of particular thematic area. Because if you look at this, the diagram I've shown there, you can see we have resources. So resources being one of the 4 goals which are focused on resources. And that way means we can be able to put them in different categories, in different pillars, so that we have social, environment, and economic, so that it's possible for us to be able to work them through. So if you look at those are resources, and it clearly shows issues of zero hunger, issues of clean water, issues of energy, issues of production, is all about resourcefulness. And then if you look at the next set is social, how we are interacting ourselves, how the relationship we are having with each other, and the way we are engaging with each other. That brings in education, gender equality, as well as issues of inequalities and peace. Then if you look at the third is about environment. So first is what is available. Secondly is interaction. And the third is now how do we interact with the resources which are available? Issues like clean climate action, what is above the water, below the water, what is on the land. How do we utilize these resources? And the last one is now issue of economics. So issues of poverty, health and well-being, which has been a major thing, issues of mental wellness and health, and issues of growth, as well as aspect of infrastructure. So these are key, and the decision we make as leaders and the kind of direction that we give, it makes it imperative for us first to identify what they are, and then we drill down to the indicators Doc had said, because the indicator will give us measures on what we are supposed to do and how we are supposed to move on. So it's important that we address all these holistically, because there's a lot of interactivity among them. And when you work on one and you don't address the other, the benefits are not going to be reaped wholesomely. So as you're looking at social goals, you're also addressing environmental goals, and you're also looking at economical goals. So they all go together to ensure that when you're looking at improving human well-being, you're also looking at peace and justice and strong institutions. At the same time, you're also looking at about affordable cities and communities together. So that's the kind of perspective we want to entrench it ourselves as we unpack this, so that we can now look at the core themes. I'll talk about the core themes before the doctor comes in and takes us now what is the importance of those. Now, if we look at the core themes, I've given characteristic, I've given a 17, then they came into 4 categories. Now we are looking at the core themes, because bottom line, sustainability is something about something having a long-term effect. So when you talk about people, you're talking about healthy living, knowledge, you're talking about inclusive of all feel part of this world. When you talk about dignity, you're talking about being able to fight inequality and also poverty. When we talk about prosperity, it's not a position, but it is a process of continuous growth in all aspects of inclusivity as well as of transformative economy. And then when we talk about justice, is a way whereby there is issue of safety, peaceful society, and strong institution. And then we're also talking about the planet as an ecosystem, which was gifted to us, and we are supposed to gift it to the communities or to the other generation. Are we gifting what was gifted to us, or are we destroying what they will find destroyed later? And finally is the partnership. Who are we working on board to ensure that we are successful in SDG? And it's good that we are all here, 51 people, to think through our roles, our perspective, and what we need to do. Dr. Tina, what is the importance of SDGs?
Yeah, maybe I want to push this to the team. Can you, using the chat box, can you just write down what you think, why we need the Sustainable Development Goals? I want to see the chat. The chat should start working. Why do you think the SDGs are important? Fanuel, let me request you to read whatever people are writing. Kindly unmute yourself.
Okay, let me check through. Yeah, so far, someone says we need SDGs for sustenance in order to have focus on development. And then someone called Lucy says that they make us more accountable. Mwalimu Hadija says they provide a universal framework for addressing pressing global challenges. And then someone, Emma, says, okay, it's flowing fast. For a better world to live in. Someone says for innovation to eradicate poverty. Wanjeri Mercy says to enable the smooth running of our goals. Priscilla Kiwia says to promote equality. And then Frida Corrit says, when well addressed, to work smart, to provide global inclusivity in order to act as checklist for implementation. Someone says they can be used as a roadmap to address the challenges and bring about sustainability. Mwalimu Hadija also says that building a more equitable, prosperous, and sustainable world for present and future generations. SDGs helps us to coming in so fast. Well, to improve the lifestyle of people, SDGs are necessary to influence our mindset in mitigating global challenges. For more insights, to be more innovative and creative, to provide solutions to enhance decision-making. Someone says helps us to achieve our goals towards sustainable development. They are, I don't know what that means. And then someone says to utilize the available resources sustainably.
Maybe you post there because we need to correct something, because somebody
Yes.
has said they are 8. I think this person is still talking about the Millennium Development Goals. And when did we stop talking about the Millennium Development Goals? As soon as the Sustainable Development Goals were enacted. So in 2015, that was the end of the Millennium Development Goals, which were 8 in number. They were not comprehensive in a way. And so that is why they were revised for us to have the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you very much, Fanuel. And so with all the reasons that you've given, we want to encourage you to go and read what our colleagues have written on the chat box so that we continue learning. As we speak, it is also important to check the chat box at all times, okay? And so, just as my colleague, Dr. Gioko has already alluded, the Sustainable Development Goals cut across the 3 pillars of sustainability: the social pillar, the economic pillar, and the environmental pillar. And so, by looking at these 3, where they are integrating, where they are meeting, that is where we have sustainability. And so for each of the Sustainable Development Goals, there has to be a touch of some social, a touch of some economic aspect, and a touch of some environmental aspect of sustainability. Now, if you look at the things that are happening in the world today, I want you to do something. Maybe Dr. Gioko, you can move to the next slide so that we can try to do that. Yeah, look at this picture. Can you just try to do that wherever you are sitting? I want to see people doing that. I hope those who are able to see my video can be able to see what I'm doing. Can you do that? What is that? What is that? Dr. Gioko, what are you doing?
Scratching.
Scratching. When do you scratch?
When something is itchy.
Oh, Vijedi, what will happen if it is itching and you are not scratching?
You feel the discomfort.
Itch me.
You feel the
It
discomfort?
will get worse.
It will get worse. So that is what we
Yes.
are talking about here. Just look at the picture that is next to that activity that we've just done. What do you see when you see this picture? What are you seeing here?
Poverty.
Poverty,
Suffering.
suffering,
Inequality.
inequality,
State of scholar.
Anger.
A disease.
disease,
Hopelessness.
hopelessness,
Depression,
depression,
poor sanitation and lack of clean water,
poor sanitation, and good.
Despair.
Despair. Oh, good.
Despair.
At least you are saying, you are talking to me, you're talking to my heart, that using this picture, you can be able to see so many things. And if you are seeing what you are seeing, and you just ignore as a leader, are you making a difference? How many people next to our homes are living like this? How many people in our own families, extended families, nuclear families, are living like this? I'm not saying that it has to be the exact picture. How many people in our counties where we are county directors of whatever, in our schools where we have learners come to school in the morning and go home in the evening, are living like this? What have we done as leaders? And so what we are encouraging everyone today is scratch the itch. I know you are not comfortable with this kind of scenario. I know you don't like it. I know you feel like you need to do something. So don't just remain there. Scratch the itch. Scratch the itch so that you do something to make a difference to our friends, to our family members, to our community members that are living in such a way. Dr. Gioko, maybe you can look at the next slide. Let us look at the conceptual framework for transitioning from unsustainability to sustainability.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And it's important for us to appreciate that. Don't think that's not happening to you. We are all humans and we are all sharing the planet. As much as it's happened to someone, it is also happening to you indirectly. So we cannot close our eyes as leaders. It's time we take action. The situation is part of us, irrespective of how it is. Doc?
Yeah, I wanted us to talk about this framework that is going to help us to realize sustainability, because we are talking about the Sustainable Development Goals. We have to analyze the current scenario where we are that looks unsustainable. Already we have scratched the itch. That was an indication that we are at the current state. We are looking at the current state where we are talking about the present condition where unsustainable practices prevail. And this necessitates a shift towards sustainability. We need to have a vision. We need to have the desire so that we have a better future where the principles of sustainable development are fully integrated into society. The Sustainable Development Goals provide the normative framework for this vision, guiding the specific objectives that need to be achieved. If you look at the sustainability transition, this is the core pathway showing the movement from the current state to the envisioned sustainable state. It involves significant changes in behavior, the way we do things, in practices, and even in policies. I'm sorry to say that most of our states, we have very good policies that are just sitting in people's offices. They have not been broken down to the citizens to understand what is in those documents and how they can participate in implementing whatever has been documented as a policy. And so it is also important to look at the pedagogies, the enabling conditions. This suggests that specific educational methodologies and approaches are essential to facilitate this transition. These pedagogies are crucial for individuals to actively participate in the transition towards sustainability. In many occasions, we have talked about pedagogical approaches. We have talked about how to deliver as an educator, as a facilitator, so that you can impact, so that you can bring about the change that we are dreaming about. It is if you look at this framework, there is this aspect of sustainability competences. The competences that learners need to develop through education for sustainable development, such as critical thinking, systems thinking, creativity, innovation, anticipatory skills, collaboration, and so to say, collaboration. In education for sustainable development, we emphasize more on collaboration than competition, because collaboration simply means collaborate more and compete less. These competencies are crucial for individuals to actively participate in the transition towards sustainability. And so for us to get to that state where we have the vision, the sustainable state, we need people to help even the young people in our learning institutions to embrace the competencies that we are talking about. For example, in Kenya, we have the competency-based curriculum. And this is a curriculum that is actually being practiced in many other countries, and it's working. How is it working in our country? How is it working in our countries? Apparently, I visited Rwanda, and they are so good when it comes to the competency-based curriculum or way of administering learning. And even as we talk about the sustainability transition, it is always important to look at the component of monitoring and evaluation, because this underscores the importance of assessing progress towards the sustainability goals. Monitoring and evaluation help to track the effectiveness of education for sustainable development interventions and pedagogies, and so to ensure that the transition remains on course towards achieving the sustainable development goals. This will help us not just to do things for the sake of it, but to do things with focus. The activities that we are implementing in our institutions, and we are calling them ESG activities, where are they taking us? Dr. Maina, what is the intersection? How can we explain this intersection of leadership and education for sustainable development?
So this journey, as you can see, it needs a lot of guidance and direction. And therefore, this places a leader as a critical person to be able to ensure this is going through. The first entry point of a leader is self-awareness, identifying yourself. Who am I as a leader? I need to understand my own value, because issues of sustainability, you don't tell, you leave them, you showcase, you model. So I need to show what are my own values, what are my strengths, what are my areas of improvement. Because once I know my identity and my ethical foundation, it will be crucial when I'm leading others towards that direction. So once I've known who I am as a leader, the next is to ask, what am I leading? Towards what and why? So I am a leader, but I want to ask myself, where are we going? What is the vision? So it's very important that, and remember, in most cases, it is the leader who is knowing the vision much better than the others, but that vision should percolate and be seen by all your followers. So it's very important to identify, what's my vision? How does it improve? How do I make clear goals, compelling goals, which are related to SDG for sustainability? How can I outline them? And how can I ensure that this vision is a guiding star, and therefore it has initiative and efforts to be undertaken? So once I have known my compass, the next is to ask, who is this? Who is in my followership team? Who is following me? And therefore, you need to know the stakeholders who are involved, which team members are involved, which community are involved, and the broader society connection. So for effective leadership, you need to engage diverse groups who bring strong relationship and foster collaboration and commitment. So you have known who you are, you have known why you are doing it, you have known who you are leading, then you have to ask yourself, what am I leading through? Because there's that journey. So you have to ask yourself, which methods, which strategies, which pathways will take me to that goals? Because this will help you identify the pedagogies, the tools, and they're going to facilitate as you are moving towards that particular goal. And then you sit back because you cannot lead people if you don't motivate them. So you ask yourself, how do I lead better? And this is very important in your leadership. So it helps you to know that I need to motivate, I need to communicate effectively, I need to demonstrate passion, I need to engage others in a manner which brings them on board. So when I do that, then I create this overlapping situation where I have relationship, I have motivation, I have vision, and I have values which mesh together and allow me as a leader to be able to champion us with action, with modeling towards EST. And now, since I have unpacked these values, I want now us to think about these values and put them into practice. Doctor, what do you think about these values and the implementation in leadership?
Overally, it is important to look at the qualities of an effective leader in education for sustainable development. If at all we have to manage what we've just talked about, who am I as a leader? Did you write these things down as Dr. Gioko was going through them? I wrote them down. There is that aspect of, he said, what am I leading towards and why? Now, that is to talk about the vision. Who am I leading? What am I leading through? And how do I lead? These are very, very important because motivation is critical. If at all you have to talk about the qualities of the leader who is going to move us to the next level of ensuring that we are meeting or we are achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And so we have qualities like the leader has to be visionary. In education for sustainable development, the leader should have the ability to foresee the importance of sustainability in the future. And that is why we have these learning sessions every Sunday. Because if we don't do it, who will? You have to be visionary. You have to be inspirational. Inspirational leaders motivate others by embodying the principles they advocate for and by communicating their passion for sustainable development. If you have to implement education for sustainable development effectively, passion is very, very, very important. And also it is important to have leaders who are ethical. Remember, we had a session that we were talking about ethics and values in education for sustainable development. Ethical leadership in ESD means adhering to moral principles in all decisions and actions, ensuring that there is fairness, there is transparency, there is integrity in the process. For instance, if we have to be ethical towards the environment, there are some things that we are doing that are not right. Like right now in Kenya, we are having a challenge because of the floods. And this has to do with something to do with the environment. What did we do wrong as a globe? What did we do wrong? So that Kenya and its neighboring countries are having a challenge at the moment. So, and then there is the aspect of collaboration. Leaders need to know how to collaborate. Collaboration is essential in education for sustainable development because The issues at hand are complex and they have very many faces, requiring the input and effort from various sectors and communities. Collaborative leaders excel in bringing together diverse groups. Don't go alone. Hold somebody's hand and walk with them through this path. Facilitating dialogue and partnerships that leverage the strengths and perspectives of each participant is very, very important. This is key in creating holistic and inclusive solutions. And it's also important to have leaders who are inclusive. Inclusivity in leadership ensures that all voices, especially those from marginalized areas, underrepresented groups, are heard and valued in the dialogue, as well as when it comes to decision-making processes. It is important to have leaders who are thinking about the less fortunate. I don't know if you have something to add here, Dr. Gioko.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. Let's hear from the team. Just share in the chat. What other qualities do you think will lead towards sustainable development in education? Just share in the chat. We have given you 4 qualities, but I'm sure from your expose, from your practice, you may have more. Can you share with us some in the chat? What other qualities do you think we need to add to this list of effectiveness in terms of ESD? We are looking at the chat. Please share. Thank you very much. I have integrity and trust. Thank you very much, Frida Korir. Integrity and trust. Thank you very much. We are waiting for more. Can we have more? According to you, which other aspects or quality? Thank you very much, Lucy. Good communicator. We have transparent from Michael. Thank you very much. Florence talks about transparency. We have Michael talking about resilience. Thank you very much. We have Dina talking about supportive. We have mentor. We have a leader who is inclusive and listens. A leader who is innovative. Oh, a leader who is empathic. Thank you, Maureen Shipota from Zambia. Thank you. We have truth open, free and fair. Thank you very much. Accountability. Great. So, Doc, you can see there's a lot of qualities that are coming out from the team.
Awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
Awesome.
Something like a coach, accountable conversation. Yes, thank you very much. Irene talks about transparent consistency from Antoine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So we can see that these qualities are what we need. And therefore, remember, initially I said you need to identify who you are. In case you identify that you have 8 and you are missing 3, as a leader, you don't give up. You harness the 8, but you also work on the 3. It's a continuous growth. So there is need to continue working as leaders so that we build our skill set and ensure that we are going to have more. So I think, Doc, we have been able now to revisit what is SDGs, and we have looked at the qualities. Now we want to dive deep into groups so that as a group, we want you now to discuss. Now you know a name of a quality, for example, accountability, but we want you to discuss what exemplifies this quality and how do they make a difference in ESD. We want you to make them functional and practical. So you will go into your groups, you will take a quality and you will unpack it, giving an example and functional. We'll give you some time to share, and then we're going to come back here and have a discussion. Doc, have you created the rooms?
And maybe before they go to the rooms, I think it's also very important to emphasize the quality of empathy. The reason as to why we are having communities that are imbalanced is because people don't have empathy. Leaders don't understand the diverse perspectives and the human aspect of sustainability challenges among the people in the community. Empathy allows leaders to engage more deeply with communities and stakeholders, ensuring that solutions are inclusive and equitable. There is also another quality of resilience. I want everybody to take time after this session to just search and learn about resilience, because facing environmental, social, and economic challenges requires leaders who can persevere through setbacks. Resilience enables you to maintain your commitment to sustainability goals despite the obstacles. The reason as to why we are doing what we are doing today, I am doing what I am doing today, is because of this quality of resilience. If there are challenges, we've gone through them. If we have people who've criticized and said so many things about what we are doing every Sunday, we have listened to them and we have moved on. So resilience is very, very important for you to embrace as a leader, to be able to achieve what you need to achieve in education for sustainable development. And so let me just create the rooms. So I will request that you go to any room, not rather any room, the room that you have been allocated. And once you are through with your discussion, we are going to alert you in 1 minute that time is up. So you should be winding up. When you get to your breakout room, don't mute yourself, because you will be few in the room. Just open your mic so that you can collaborate, you can learn from one another. So you're going to be like 7, 6 people in a room. Kindly click on the join button and go to your room. I have opened the rooms, kindly go. And after that, don't go away, because we will be coming back to learn from one another. I think 10 minutes, we will be having 10 minutes for the breakout rooms. 10 minutes for the breakout rooms. Let me just broadcast the message. 10 minutes starting now. Kindly join the breakout rooms. I don't want to see people in the plenary. Kindly go to your breakout rooms, because there is more engagement. Please go there. Or if you remain at the plenary, can you join me? Then we can discuss. I can see Jane, Wangari, Biswell, Eric, you're still here. You want to remain at the plenary? Maybe you need to open your mic so that we can also talk. You can engage, we can engage. We can engage here, there's no problem. Dr. Gioko, you can go to any room. You can walk around. Fanuel, you can walk around and listen to what people are saying. Let me manage the plenary. Janet Vijeti, you were supposed to go to room. Let me see, you've not joined. HRH Mamaga. Ameta, you are supposed to be in room 6. Can you join your room? Jerry Jane, you're supposed to be in room 9. Kindly join your room. Who else has not gone? Maritime, please join room. Let me see. Room 7. Moses Talia, please join room 3. Please go. Maritime, go to your room, or you open your mic so that we talk. Janet Vijedi. Janet. Maybe you can go around. You can go to any room, Janet, and listen to the conversations. Jen Jerry, unmute yourself. Moses, please unmute yourself. I want us to have a conversation here because I don't want you to miss out. Moses Talia, kindly unmute yourself. We are talking about, you can identify a leader and talk about that leader, or just discuss the qualities that you think a leader needs to have to make a difference in education for sustainable development. For instance, in this era, during this era, we need leaders who can adapt. Adaptability, the ability to adjust strategies and approaches in responsive to changing circumstances or new information. Leaders who are leading in sustainability must be flexible in their plans and open to adopting innovative solutions. Don't say, these things, I don't know them. Be ready to adopt, be flexible to learn even from the young people. You need to be a strategic thinker. Strategic thinking is a very powerful quality, because effective leaders in education for sustainable development must be able to develop long-term strategies that align with sustainable development goals. This involves not only setting clear objectives, but also foreseeing potential impacts and planning accordingly. And then there is the quality of accountability. This is where most leaders have failed us. Leaders must hold themselves and their organizations accountable for their impacts on both local and global scales. This can include, for example, being committed, having commitments, and being transparent about the progress and setbacks of achieving sustainability goals. Another quality, I think, something like global perspective. Having a global perspective as a leader is very, very good and important, given that we are now talking about globalization. Given the global nature of sustainability, leaders need a broad perspective that encompasses various cultural, economic, and environmental contexts. Understanding global interconnections and implications is crucial for making informed decisions. And importantly, it is important for the leaders, us now, to have communication skills, strong communication skills, because strong communicators can effectively share the importance of sustainability goals, inspire action, and mobilize resources. Clear communication helps to bridge gaps between different groups and foster cooperative efforts towards common objectives. These qualities are complementary and interdependent. They form the foundation of leadership that can effectively promote sustainable development and lead to substantial positive changes in the society. And so all that and whatever you have in mind as a quality are critical when it comes to making a difference in education for sustainable development. Is there a quality that you think we need to discuss, or is there a leader that you think is exemplary and we can discuss some of the qualities that they are portraying as they lead in matters to do with sustainability? Anyone in the plenary? Anyone? Beth? Any quality that maybe I've not mentioned? Ruth, thank you for joining. Chepwanya, thank you for joining. We are almost getting out of the breakout rooms, but if you want, I can send you to breakout rooms. I was just engaging those who are here because they have not been able to go to their rooms. Kindly unmute yourself. Ruth Orieko, Beth Kabuthia, Moses, unmute yourself. Bizual Katito, please unmute yourself. Let's talk. People have gone to breakout rooms, and we can use this as a breakout room. Evershine, you want to say something? Okay. Now that you don't want to talk to me, I think
Not that you don't want to talk. I was in up to 8:10. I logged out. I came back after we've talked. So I don't know what is being discussed.
Oh, we are actually, look at what I have shared on the screen. People have gone to various rooms. They are discussing a leader who exemplifies qualities that we have just been talking about. A leader who is a visionary, a leader who is inspirational, ethical, collaborative, inclusive, resilient, adaptive.
Yes, I know of one.
Yeah, who is that, Ruth?
Dr. Christine. Dr. Christine Owinyi is one of those leaders.
My goodness. Oh my. You're really feeling me, making me feel really, I don't know. I'm humbled.
Yes.
Also, Dr. Christine is one of them.
You're also supporting Ruth?
Yes, I wanted to, she's supporting me because that's the truth.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate. If
Thank
I
you.
am one of them, then you are also one of them, because we are learning from one another.
Thank you too.
Yeah, thank you. So I think let me close all the rooms so that the others can join us. So
But I think Dr. Christine has made a difference.
really?
Yes. One, you've made us cooperative. You are inclusive. You are talking to the people worldwide, globe wide, throughout the globe. So you are inclusive. Yes. Another thing, you are open and welcoming. So that makes you a good leader. You are leading by example. You are our example.
Thank you.
You are inspiration. You have been inspiring us all through since we started the learning. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Role model.
Moses, you're saying something? What did you just say?
I think it was me was saying, I was wondering whether we were back.
Yeah, you're back. You're back. People at the plenary were also discussing. You just found them winding up. Moses, Talia, you said something. What were you saying? Okay, welcome back, everyone. Okay, Dr. Gioko, back to you.
In Kenya, we are happy. I think education for sustainable development is going to take us through somewhere. I decided that we focus on the youths because tomorrow is being made today. Thank you so much. I'm humbled, Dr.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you. So,
Thank you very much,
thank you
Moses.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Unmute yourself, Dr. Unmute yourself.
Doc, I think we're now going to do a round of each room reporting back. Can we start with room 1, please? Just give us a key highlight of what you discussed.
Yeah, just key highlight because of time.
Yeah, room number 1, please.
Hello. Okay,
Hello.
room
Yes,
number
please.
1. We discussed about the qualities and of a good leader, actually, which were resilience. And we said one should have the drive and not give up, be able to push to the end to make sure that we achieve our goals. And if people are working as a team and there's resilience, then they're able to meet their objectives. Then we talked about empathy, where you actually hear the person or listen, but you don't show sympathy, you empathize. Empathizing is different from sympathy. You try and see a way of helping out. Then there is humanity, where we handle issues in a humane way. We have a good communicator who should also be a good listener, where you do not understand something, you're able to communicate well so that you can get help. And when the person...
Thank you very much, Sabithe. Let's preserve some for others, please. You can type the rest of what you have said, but those are powerful points. Please type the rest. Can we go to team 2? Team 2?
Yes, team 2.
Yes.
On the bit of being a good communicator, we talked about removing bottlenecks receiving feedback and acting on it. Therefore, you're able to bring everybody on board. We also talked about being accountable, where you are transparent, you are honest, and therefore people gain trust in you. You're able to put your priorities right and you adhere to the priorities made. We also said that a leader should challenge people and not praise them. And when you challenge people, instead of pleasing them, you are able to make them grow. You are focusing on their growth and not on the goal. Therefore,
thank you, Esther.
Thank
you very much, Esther.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Esther, for that very well elaborate quality set.
Welcome.
And you can type the rest so that we can read on those good points. Team number 3.
Okay.
Team number 3.
Oh yeah, yeah. These are our points that we have discussed. Our quality, the quality we identified is knowledge, being knowledgeable. That a leader should be knowledgeable, and this is demonstrated by showing understanding of what ESD entails. 2, should also show knowledge or demonstrate knowledge on understanding the principles of ESD, the practices, and should also have expertise in knowing the ESD goals. In addition, a leader should also have knowledge on the skills and on the aspect of the skills. He should know what to do, how to do, when to do, and why to do. These skills will ensure that he develops confidence in leadership. We also talked about should be an expert and in changes in the curriculum, especially the new curriculum. Then there's also the aspect of innovation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rose.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Rose.
Okay,
Can you type the rest so that we give a piece of the other one? I like the diversity. You can imagine we are in team 3 now, and we're having a very big repository of these qualities. Let's go to group 4. Tate, group 4. Group 4. A highlight. Only in a minute, then we give other people. Group 4, are you there? Team 4, I know you are typing. Can you just say something?
Yes, in group 4, we discussed about different leaders who have shown SDG leadership. We gave examples such as Wangari Maathai, Paul Kagame, Moi Kibaki, and a Zambian minister by the name Felix Mutati, who is showing these SDGs through collaboration. Moi Kibaki showed economic resilience and innovativeness through bringing Boda Boda initiative, which have created job opportunities for a while up to date. For Paul Kagame, leadership in Rwanda has been reflected through quality education and sustainable cities. For Wangari Maathai, she reflected environmental stewardship through defending the Karura forests ecosystem. That's all we discussed.
Thank you very much. Right on. Thank you very much. You can write the rest. Can you go to group 5? Group 5.
Okay, I'm representing breakout room 5. We discussed on being inclusive, innovative in terms of ideas, visionary, which means you have to be results oriented, competent stroke accountability, and then we have longevity or resilient. Then the last one, discernment and sagacity, which means being wise in terms of skills execution.
Thank you very much, Gioko, for that. Group 6.
Hello, thank you. For group 6, we highlighted accountability, determination, dedication, trust, transparency, integrity, empathy, innovative, trustworthy, communication, empathy. And so we say empathy is very, very important, because when you listen to somebody actively, you'll be able to get exactly what the other person or other group is trying to share. And then we
Thank
say,
you. Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. And please don't forget to write. Type so that people can read. We go to group 7. Group 7. Please type your idea so that we can all get to see all of them. Group number 7.
Okay, yeah, I'll represent group number 7. For us, we talked about leaders who exercise effective qualities, the likes of Dr. Kinaha Matiang'i, Wangare Maathai, President Moi, because they did a lot. We also looked at organizations like Kenya Wildlife Service, Equity Bank, who are doing great to donate trees to schools, yeah, and finance schools in conserving the environment, not forgetting giraffes and parents. Those are the qualities we found of both persons and organizations.
Thank you very much, Wanjeri Masi. Can we go to the next group? You can see the diversity of what we're observing, which is great, The next group. Group number 8, are you there? Group number 8. Seems like they are typing. Group number 9.
They're typing.
Group number 9. Group number 9.
Group number
Proceed.
8.
Oh, number 8. Proceed if you're there now. Okay.
Yeah, group number 8. We finally sort of agreed that a leader has to have quite a number of qualities that can be used together in order to make education more sustainable. For example, we looked at philanthropy, we looked at initiative, we looked at collaborative, where if somebody is a philanthropist, this philanthropist may be willing to give out resources and therefore will collaborate with a number of people so that they bring these resources together. And a part of integrity is required in order to utilize these resources for what they were actually meant for. So basically, a leader has to have a mix of these qualities. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina, for packaging it in a very interactive way where they are interrelated. Now we go to group number 9.
Thank you.
Group number 9. Group number 9, are you there? These are very exciting perspectives from the team. Group number 9. It seems like they are typing. Group number 10. Let's go to group number 10. Group number 10. Okay.
Let's have
and there's
Florence,
a group.
please.
Florence. Huh? Florence.
Hello.
Yes, Wilkista.
Okay, group
Wilkista.
number 9, group 9.
Yes, yes, please.
Yes, group 9 we highlighted about collaboration, teamwork, where we should work with one another to achieve the ESD goals. And we should also we also highlighted inclusivity, where members to be brought on board and each one to participate actively, to be made aware of what should happen.
Thank you very much. Then group number 10. Group number 10. Okay.
Dr.
And there's
Nduko,
always Dr. Nduko. Dr. Nduko, are you group number 10? Dr. Nduko Mutua?
Yes, we had said somebody else to do it, but it's okay. We have already been put in the chat. We picked the being inspirational, and then we are trying to see how to inspire others. by being role models, that by leading by example. You're supposed to be visionary. Most of these have even been picked by other groups. But then also by motivating, empowering, doing mentorship skills. You should have inclusivity, leaving no one behind. And that special word, being resilient, optimistic, empathetic, and also having effective communication skills. And then there should be a framework for clear feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sorry. And I like the leading by example, because you can't give what you don't have. Thank you very much for that. When we have Ruth Orieko, she was in the plenary. Ruth, can you represent your plenary group? Ruth Orieko, please unmute and share what you discuss in the plenary. Yes.
Yes, I was in the plenary. We said that a leader have to be a role model, inspiring, leading by example, or morally upright. And we talked about one of the leaders who has these qualities as Dr. Christine Owinyi. She's showing us inspiration in her. Through her inspiration, we have joined the group and we are doing a lot in terms of learning. As a role model, we also would like to be like her. At the same time, she's morally upright. You know, somebody's behaviors, language, and he can tell you when somebody is morally upright or not. So that's what we discussed in the plenary. And we agreed. I think those who are in the plenary agreed with me that Christine Owinyi is one of the good leaders.
Thank you very much for that, and she exemplified that. Thank you. And my AI companion is telling me that our discussion is cohesive. We are coming out with key points. You know, nowadays with technology, it can quickly give me a summary of all the discussion. And this is great in terms of what we are doing. But because of time, we need to proceed. And Doc, can you now talk about the SDGs for today's leaders?
Are you projecting or you want me to project?
Oh, I thought I'm projecting. Sorry, let me just project quickly. Apologies for that. I thought it was showing. Sorry. You can see it now?
Yes. Yeah, in other words, we cannot be able to discuss all the SDGs. We just want to talk about 2 SDGs that are critical at the moment. And the first one is Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education, which is summarized as ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. Actually, I love this goal. I love this goal so much. If you get into the nitty-gritties of this goal, you will want to know it even very well so that you do everything that this goal sets. If you look at this goal, we are talking about inclusive and equitable quality education. The elimination of disparities in education. This includes ensuring that both girls and boys, as well as the vulnerable populations such as persons with disabilities and indigenous people, have equal access to all levels of education from pre-primary through to tertiary and adult education. And when we are talking about quality, what is quality? The focus is not just on access, but also on the quality of education. This ensures that all learners gain the knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including numeracy, literacy, technical, as well as vocational skills. And then there is the last bit that talks about lifelong learning opportunities. The goal promotes continuous learning opportunities that allows people to acquire skills, acquire knowledge that is needed to adapt to changing labor markets and societal needs. In essence, goal number 4 is fundamental for building a foundation upon which other sustainable development goals can achieve their targets, such as reducing inequality, spanning economic growth, and fostering peaceful societies. Quality education underpins the broader development agenda by equipping individuals with the tools required to solve complex challenges that are facing the world today, and thus fostering societies that are resilient, as you have said, societies that are capable, societies that are sustainable. Sustainable Development Goal number 4 has got 7 articles that I want you to go and research on. And it also has, apart from the 7 articles, it also has 3, what are they called? 3, we have 7 and 3. Which ones are the articles and which ones are the targets? We have 7 targets and then we have 3 articles, which I want you to go and look at critically. Maybe Dr. Gioko, you can talk about goal number 13, because when we talk about climate change, yeah, before,
Yes,
okay, continue.
When you talk about quality education, you're talking about a comprehensive education, which is building the learner. And one of the competencies in the Kenyan curriculum is citizenship. Now, when you unpack citizenship, one of the abilities of citizenship is taking action. And for this case, we're talking about climate action. And therefore, we are not saying that learning is separate with other things. Is as learners are being taught in all their learning areas, are we responding to issues in the society? And one of them is climate change. And this is something which is urgent. So what focus, what urgency are we giving to the issues of climate change? Because if you look at what we have, there's a critical need, which is immediate and robust action should be taken to tackle climate change. And climate change has been going on over time. So there are issues like greenhouse emission gas, strengthening resilience, enhancing adaptive capabilities in terms of climate-induced impact. Then also we need to have global efforts whereby there is cooperation, there are international agreements which we are following, like the Paris Agreement, where countries are committed to keeping the global temperature rise below 2 degrees. And we have seen schools making a small forest within their school, building things and reducing the emission, even local actions, which are done by clubs, by the teachers, using or reducing carbon footprint, promoting renewable energy, increasing energy efficiency. You have seen many schools buying the new efficient cooking Gioko. So there are these things which we need to do in our life, which if we don't do small actions, walking to work, parking away, not taking long flights, these small actions are things which can respond to SDG 13, which is not about reducing emission only, but it's about building a resilient future for communities globally. I like repeating that the environment was gifted to us. How are we gifting the future generation? Are we going to give them better, or is it different? So effective leadership in this area can significantly influence policy, community initiatives, and make it more sustainable and climate resilience. And I know Dr. Christine is going to give us a case study to show that it is possible for this to happen. Yes, Dr.
Yes, it is possible. This is just an example of a school implementing innovative programs to promote sustainable development goals. First, I want you to look at the picture. If you just look at the picture, something is very striking here. And I want to apologize. Please allow us just to finish this presentation. I thought we could finish by 9, but it looks like we will extend by a few minutes. Can somebody just say, okay, so that we are free to continue?
It's well.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is the kind of environment that can promote education for sustainable development. If you look at the seating arrangement, there is no barrier. There is nothing that is coming in between the students. They are sitting in a circular manner to mean that we are all equal. The teacher is just there with the students, you know. It is not like there is one sitting at the back and there is another one sitting at the front. If you come to schools like where I am right now in Canada, the sitting arrangement is just this way. There is nothing like there is a student at the back, others at the front. They are either sitting around one table or they are sitting in groups, you know, and the teacher just moves around from one group to another to facilitate learning. And so the key aspects of the school approach will include interactive learning environment. The classroom setup is designed to foster interaction and dialogue among the students. This method encourages active participation, critical thinking, creativity, innovation, which are crucial for understanding complex subjects and developing problem-solving skills. There is also the aspect of diverse student engagement. The school, if you look at it, there is that, you can see diversity, you know. The school promotes inclusiveness by ensuring that students from various backgrounds are represented and engaged in this process. This diversity enriches the learning experience as students bring in different perspectives and insights to discussions. The next aspect that you can see here is the aspect of use of the space around the classroom. Look at the way the board, the door, everywhere, there are things written on them that the teacher or rather the school has used the vertical space to impact learning, to impact values, to engage the learners even as they walk around the classrooms. There is the use of technology and resources. The presence of digital display in the classroom suggests the integration of technology in teaching. This is not only used as an aid of presenting input or complex information, but also it prepares students for a technologically advanced world. And then there is if you look around, you can see the students raising up their hands, encouragement of questioning and critical analysis. The teachers need to pause and have open-ended questioning techniques, highlighting an educational strategy that values students' input and critical thinking, not rote learning. Don't have the students raising up their hands because they are answering questions. Let them raise up their hands because they are asking questions. Because if a student raises up their hand to ask a question, they are telling you, teacher, I want to know more. Teacher, I want you to go and research. You know, it's not like I am reproducing what you have given me. When you are asking the students to give an answer to a question because of what you have taught, You are simply telling them, reproduce what I've given you. No learning is taking place. So encourage the students to be critical thinkers, to ask more questions as much as possible. And then promotion of lifelong learning by implementing teaching methods that are engaging and thought-provoking. The school here fosters a love of learning and curiosity among the students. These are foundational for lifelong learning. And thus, sustainable development goal number 4, as demonstrated in this school, directly contributes to the achievement of all the 17 or of all the other 16 sustainable development goals. Because there is no way you can have the students together like this if they are not peaceful. Yeah? So you can see peace, you can see unity. I mean, there is so much to talk about here. Dr. Gioko, we can't finish. Can you look at case number 2? Unmute yourself.
Learning should be extended beyond the class. That's why we say community service learning. So how do we bring the right stakeholders to ensure that the learning is enriched in the classroom? This is an example of a community-based solar energy project. Solar energy project. And you have heard people complaining, we don't have electricity, but we have plenty of sunlight. And this clearly aligns itself with SDG number 3, which is about climate action. So when we are using this solar panel, as a teacher who is teaching science, there can be a lesson to the science teachers how energy is being converted from light into electricity. So it is a school by itself. It's a class by itself, teaching the learners what is happening. How are we inverting this current from direct current to alternating current? How are we measuring this in mathematics? Money, how are we charging this kind of electricity coming here? So it is a school by itself. It is what we call place-based learning. But it is serving two purposes. It is also supplying energy to the school. Remember, we are responding to the economic end. We're not paying those huge bills, yet we are accessing electricity by harnessing the power we have. But again, we are also demonstrating to the learners as a leader that you can bring people to solve a problem that we have at the same opportunity, use that solution as a learning opportunity. So this case study is an example of how a local initiative can be used to have global goals by promoting renewable energy, reducing carbon emission, as well as fostering community involvement and leadership in sustainable efforts. Now, we have just given you 2. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. What do you think are the sustainable goals which is most crucial to your community? We have given you 17. Can you share with us in chat? Which one do you think? Just share in chat. Which one do you think is the most crucial to your community? We have talked about 17. We have shared about 2. Just share with us in the chat out of the 17. Thank you very much, Francis Bisoza from Uganda. Thank you. We have 4 there. Five from Suleiman. Khadija from Mombasa. Thank you, Khadija. Michelle, 1. Thank you. 4 and 6. Wow. We had done a poll, but now it's not showing.
It is.
We would have really.
It's working.
Oh, it is showing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. You can use the poll.
They can just go to they can just screen whatever QR reader and they just
go to the QR reader and follow the instruction. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. For those who are in the chat, you can also use the QR reader. We want to see the percentages there. Doc, which one is leading of those percentages?
Let me see.
I can see 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 4 is like leading. Seems we have many educators here. So thank you very much. We are not saying there is a preference of a particular SDG goal, but we want to see your priority based on your community needs, because there are those who would like more clean water than renewable energy and such. But now, every rose has a thorn. Every rose has a thorn. We would like to hear from you the kind of challenges that we go through when we are trying as leaders to implement these goals. So before you share, we'll just give a small background. We'll talk about the challenges, because if you look at that person on the picture there, he's trying to break through a wall. And they normally say when there's a barrier, you can either go over it, you can either go under it, or you can find a way to go through it. So I want you to share in the chat box any insights which you can help us and help other leaders here on how do we overcome these challenges that we face, like lack of resilience, giving up, and many others. Just share from your perspective. How can we overcome these challenges? Resistance to change, insufficient training, lack of resources, alignment with education standards. Share with us. Let's see from the chat. Come up with your idea. We are looking for your answers, your ideas, your advice, your guidance. How do we overcome these challenges?
Maybe we can request one person to voice.
Yes, yes. But let people first write so that we have more people writing. And please, when you say limited exposure, for example, Francis Bisoza, can you tell us how do we overcome that? Just unmute, please. This Francis is all the way from Uganda. My brother Francis.
Thank you
We're
so
going
much,
to do
Doctor.
inter-country now. Yes.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I hope I can be heard. Oh, my background is
very clear, very clear.
Great, but one of what I mean here is that as educators and as people in the different countries, we are really not exposed to what, for example, the Sustainable Development Goals are like and what they are intended for. We just hear about them, so that's why we are not able to action about them. So once we are exposed, then we can action against them.
Thank you very much. Let's go down to Zimbabwe. Ndongwe Evershine. Ndongwe. Ndongwe Evershine from Zimbabwe.
Yes, thank you very much, Doc. I think we also need to have awareness campaigns where we make people aware of the climate issues that we are having and how best we can overcome them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Back to Uganda, Florence. Florence from Uganda.
Doctor, I think for us we need to do sensitization. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Florence? Okay, we go to Joel Kahindi from Kenya. Joel? Joel, can you unmute?
So have I said sensitization of the community from Uganda, because some people don't even, about environment and education, the community needs to be sensitized on the importance. Okay.
Thank you very much, Florence from Uganda. Joel from Kenya. Joel?
Yeah, thank you, Dr.
Joel,
yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can hear you.
Yeah, thank you. So for me, I think that we need to have a growth mindset, and that will mean that we are able to take the risk, we are dedicated, and also remain focused as we face challenges. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Otieno. Please, Emma Otieno, you're talking about accountability. Tell us more.
Okay, I think especially the case of countries in the global south, we have resources, but there are issues that we're not very good at. One, integrity, and two, holding every person to account in terms of how we're using what we have in our hands. So I think if we enhance the issue of integrity and people being accountable in terms of how we're deploying our resources, it can really help us to enhance implementation and sustainability of the very good projects that we are implementing to contribute to the SDGs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. I like the fact that we have the resources. Thank you very much. Portia, you're saying something very interesting there. Portia from Zimbabwe. You're talking about understanding and benefits. Can you tell us what you mean by that? Portia?
Hello, Doc. I was saying, in order to avoid much resistance, there should be clear understanding, knowledge, and total involvement of all the implementers to see the benefits and the importance of such a thing.
Okay, thank you very much. Can we have Rose Muhia tell us about morale and motivation as we finish this? Rose Muhia, Kenya. Rose?
Yeah, so due to the prevailing issues of lack of accountability and transparency, that lowers the morale of the stakeholders or the people who are meant to implement SDGs.
Thank you. And there's one country you've forgotten, Zambia. Maureen Shipota. You've talked about patriotism. Tell us more. Zambia. Maureen? Maureen, are you there? Okay, thank you very much. This is Daktari. This is very, very interesting. Huh?
Yeah,
So,
very.
So, Doctor, maybe you can tell us about these barriers, and I'm going to share about the barriers, then Doctor can continue telling us about the role of the challenges. I think it's very important that we have been able to share the challenges, but you can see that the leadership is placed as one of the solutions, but there is infrastructure, the way Dr. Otieno talked about. There's also goals adjustment, and there is also opportunities which we need to bring them together. And I think it has been very good that you have shared about these the challenges, very, very deep in terms of your contribution. Now, there's something which you should not forget about, an opportunity, and this is technology. There is way, and I know we have
Sorry, you're breaking, Doc. Yeah, Doc is talking about leveraging on technology in education for sustainable development. So when we are talking about leveraging on technology in education for sustainable development, we are actually talking about sharing global best practices through technology, having innovative approaches to leadership in education for sustainable development, because innovation in leadership involves adopting new and creative strategies that challenge traditional methods. This can include using technology to improve access to education, developing new pedagogical technologies or techniques that emphasize critical thinking and problem solving related to sustainability, or implementing policies that support sustainable practices across educational institutions. And then there is the aspect of ESD for 2030. If you look at ESD for 2030, let me see if I can be able to share my screen so that you see what we are talking about. ESD for 2030, let me see where we are. Doc had gone through that. We had finished that. We have done that. So this is what I was simply talking about. I don't know if can you all see my screen? Leveraging technology in ESD. That is what we were talking about. And
Yes.
good. I think Doc just dropped out when we really needed him, because he's a guru when
No,
it
I'm
comes
back.
to technology.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm back. And I wanted
Awesome.
Joel to say something. Joel, can you say something? Then Khadija, then I do an input. Joel, are you there? Joel?
I can hear you, Dr.
Yes,
Like
tell us about technology. I cannot talk here when my mentees are here.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Technology, it's a very powerful tool. And when we talk of technology in education, we actually don't consider technology level of it, but we are looking at the teacher being a digital pedagogy in the sense that is able to use technology to enhance learning and also interact with the learners, but also make the learners share ideas, and also there's that bit of collaboration and also teamwork with the use of technology. So it makes like the world is like a village where you can have students just across the globe, and your work is just simplified with technology. So that's what I can say for now. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And
So
Doc,
you're able to share global practices. Yes, please. Yes,
excuse me, Doc. Before you go ahead, maybe there is a global investor here that I think we need to hear something from him. Tate Kahiga. He's a global investor. I don't know if he has used technology in whatever he's doing. Tate.
Yes, Tate.
Yes, I've used. Yes, I've used technology. For instance, we are developing a website where we shall be facilitating interactions at a global level. For now, we are uniting or facilitating the trade between buyers and sellers using the website, but it's not yet ready. So yeah, we are using technology.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you very much. So innovative approaches can be shared. Khadija, can you say something? Because Khadija is another champion in technology who is really cutting across. Khadija?
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Maina. So maybe I can just add on what Joel has said. Technology plays a very important role in the education system. For us teachers, we can have like the online workshops. We don't have time to be having physical meetings every now and then, but through the online workshops, online seminars, like what we are doing right now, we can get to learn more about sustainable development goals.
Thank you very much. And I can see Dr. Emma Otieno, your hand is up. Please, your input, Doc.
Yes, thank you very much, Daktari. I'm not in the education sector, but I'm in the ICT sector. I work for the ICT regulator, and we are really excited to support the SDG goal number 3. When it comes to education, connectivity, the agenda of connecting all the schools will really help in terms of inclusivity and equity. For instance, with one program like the coding program, when all the students can start coding at class 1, you can imagine when you're talking about artificial intelligence being the next mover for everything. Things like virtual reality, where you can have, if we can have that technology taken all the way to our rural schools, where they can actually experience, like, let's say, going to the game park from using an AVR glasses, that kind of thing. When schools are connected and technology is actually deployed, it will actually hasten the process of us achieving this issue of equality and inclusivity in the fastest way possible. I can speak much about it, but I think let's start by if the policymakers can really collaborate and the government to cause schools to be connected, then a lot of the challenges that we are having currently will actually be resolved through technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Two more hands, then we finish this discussion. Francis Bisoza, then Wanjeri Masi.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to note, Dr. Maina, that I think technology is very, very powerful. When we look at our continent, the biggest population is the young generation, and we need to find them where they are. So, for example, having content about sustainable development goals that is sensitizing people, and we have pages like Instagram, like TikTok, like YouTube. We are able to capture the attention of these young minds who find technology, they are easy to go place, even in their free time, in vacation and stuff. So leveraging these platforms is key for us to ensure that the work of the sustainable development goals, these actions penetrate to the young generation that marks up the biggest population of the continent.
Thank you very much, Francis. Francis is a traveling teacher, and he's really championing work across Africa.
Yeah,
Yes,
Wanjeri.
Wanjeri Masi, your hand was up.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harry. I'm not in the education sector, but I'm in the mental health sector, whereby we are reaching everybody, young people, young and old, with technology through webinars, through online therapy, through breakfast meetings. Like we do webinars on time management, self-awareness, managing your emotions. And so through TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, technology has really helped us curb suicide, especially among the youth. So yes, we are getting there, and thank God to technology. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you very much. Mental wellness is key. It's part of education. So don't say you're not in education. Okay. So when you talk about best practices in leadership, and I know Dr. is going to talk about Green Africa, the growth of Green Africa as we come, but it's very important that we appreciate as we are moving. 2030 is not very far, and this alignment is very important. So if we can start sharing best practices, using champions like you who are here in technology, in ICTA, in mental wellness, we are leaders because we are championing these new ideas. We want to move it and to share. So it involves in what sharing this information. Sometimes people are acting that way practices, innovative approaches, as well as hashtag ESD 2030. You've seen that hashtag going around. So what are we talking about? How are we making things move around? So Dr. Ari, can you tell us about the Green Growth Africa? What is it?
It's just a video. I want you to play the video. Can you? And then you share the sound. Okay, let me do it. I think Dr. had the challenge. Let me share sound.
We'd like you to identify something that you want to apply. Think of one thing you want to apply, and we'd like you to share with us.
Well, I don't know, Dr. Are we coordinating? Because you... I wanted you to play the video.
Doc, we can't hear you.
I wanted you to play the video.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you share sound.
What does green growth mean for
Use the whatever the mode for sharing slideshow.
Is living in well-designed cities with jobs for
Use
everyone.
slideshow.
Green growth is getting to work, school, family, and home quickly and easily with a swipe. What does green growth mean for Africa? It's not just about planting trees and riding bikes.
Continue. You are okay.
Clean air. Green growth is using our Earth's resources combined with new technologies to power factories and livelihoods. Green growth is living in well-designed cities with jobs for everyone. Green growth is getting to work, school, family, and home quickly and easily with a swipe or a touch. Green growth is also using technology to turn waste into energy. Green growth is Africa's future.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think now we are coming towards the end, and we would like to request each of you to think of one thing that you like to do and how you see it if it is successful. It's just a quick overview of something you are taking away from this discussion, and we'll give you a minute or two. You can write it. We have just given a template which you can fill further, but we want you to identify something you like to do, and when do you think you'll do it, and if it is successful, how do you think it will look like? There's something you are taking away from this session. Well, many things you are taking, but there's one thing that you're taking which you want to implement, a very short action. Identify, tell us what it is that you want to do, and when it is successful, how will it look like? What are those indicators of success? So we'll share in the chat, and then we'll pick 2 or 3 people to share, and then we will come to the end of this session.
What if we give them as a takeaway assignment?
Yes, it can be good, but I like 2 or 3 people to just highlight something they like to do. Okay. Yes, Dr. But we have one person who's sharing something I want to do to give a sense of
Please,
this
that's
takeaway
one
assessment,
person.
how it will look like. Then who would like to say something? Just raise up your hand. One person only. I'm looking for hands. The first hand to go up, I'll call you. Looking for hands, looking for hands. The first hand to go up. Yes, Khadija. Khadija is action oriented. Let's hear Khadija.
Okay, thank you so much. So for me, I wish I could get the platform to reach the educational leaders so that I can take through the education for sustainable development, because before we reach the students, before we reach the learners, before we reach the teachers, these educational leaders must be empowered with the information about educational sustainable development so that it becomes very easy for them to push the teachers, to push the parents, to push the BOM and make a change in the schools. I had started it with my students, but I feel I need to bring everybody in the school community on board. And for me to actually do that, I need to bring my principal on board. She has been attending some sessions. I don't know if she's here today, but she has been very supportive. But now I'm thinking about other principals who are not attending these sessions. So it is high time we have these sessions with the leaders.
Thank you very much, Khadija. And to balance gender, Francis, 1 minute, please. 1 minute only.
Thank you so much, Doctor. For me, today has been a very exciting session. African travel teacher commit creating more content and actions for sustainable development goals. And I want to note that whenever I travel to a new country, I go to schools, session with learners. I teach them either about global citizenship, climate change, and the hottest topics about sustainable development goals.
Thank you very much. Dr. Ari, can you take over this?
Who, me?
Yeah, we need to make a pledge before we finish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, commitment to action. We need a pledge. We need people to pledge what you will commit to doing within the next year to advance an SDG through education in your
Many people
sphere of influence.
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to write it down. Write it down where you are. Use your phone, write it down. You can even write on the chat, because this is a commitment you're making, that you are going to use what you have learned today to make a difference. Remember when we started, we said you have to involve the head, the heart, and the hands. After learning, you develop passion, enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed the session. You are motivated. You now should be able to go out and do something using your hands. So for you to do that, you need to commit to doing something. What is this thing that you want to go and do? And when you want to go and do it, please share it with us so that we can make a follow-up. We can inspire you further. We can challenge you so that you are pushed to move on and ensure that you are implementing what you are thinking you need to implement. What is this thing? Please write it down. It's a commitment. It's between you and you. It's actually between you and
People are writing their very good things. Rosemary is saying, improving my leadership. Florence, to work with school managers.
And there is somebody I want to call upon to say something here.
Cecilia, apply digital literacy. Yes, people are writing. That's
awesome.
Can you call Michael to say something?
Michael, yes, Michael must speak today. Michael Beldin, where are you? Are you there?
Yes, I'm right here. I've been following very closely.
What are you committing to do?
For my case, I think it may be a bit easy because mainly I'm a strategic plan developing expert for many institutions in the TVET sector. So it means that even as I am developing strategic plans for institutions, and right now, for example, for an institution which Dr. Nduku Mutuo is with us here tonight heads, I'm the one developing their 5-year strategic plan. So one of the things that we are very keen on doing is to ensure that we are doing what the government calls BPR, business processes reengineering. What were we doing in the past, which today may be a good idea, which cannot work, or which has been outlived by time? And there are good ideas which can work and good ideas which cannot work. So one of the things that we are trying to see as we are developing these strategic plans for these institutions, and this is a document which is multifaceted and multi-sectoral. It talks of education, agriculture, energy, communication, everything. We are trying to see how do we then embrace the issue of sustainable development goals, because now we are doing what we call, based on government directives, the 5th generational strategic plans, which means that we must show very clearly the roadmaps that we are going to follow with the institutions as we are developing the strategic plans, based on how they gel with the sustainable development goals. So I commit that even as I work with these institutions, I will ensure that the documents that we are bringing to them for implementation embrace the spirit behind the sustainable development goals on poverty, poverty eradication, education, health, and all those issues revolving around holistic development, to be incorporated in these strategic plans, so that we have documents that are very comprehensive and which will improve and highly and deeply enhance the seamlessness with which our operations are governed and managed administratively. So that's what I commit to do.
Awesome. We are good to go. You'll never know what you can achieve until you try. Do something new. Daktari, what do you have to say?
yes, we need to do something new. Having this information, it should not only be for consumption, but it should be for presumption. So what are we going to do with this information? We knew what we had in the past, but now we should not stick in the middle. We need to think about in the future. How are we going to implement what we have learned for a brighter future?
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for your active participation and thoughtful contributions throughout the session. As we conclude, I invite you to carry forward the insights and inspirations from today's discussions into your future endeavors. Remember, our individual actions guided by ethics and values have the power to shape a more sustainable future. Together, let's journey towards a more ethical, value-driven, sustainable world. Let us continue to inspire positive change in our communities and beyond to advance towards achieving the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Let's continue to lead and inspire for a sustainable future. And so we are seeing the sun rise. A new day is coming, new life is coming because you are here and you have committed yourself to do something to change the world. That one thing that you've committed to do is the thing that the world has been waiting for. The person that you've been looking forward to make that change is none other than you. It is none other than me. Let us go out and make that difference. And together with Dr. Maina Gioko, we want to say, thank you.
Thank you.
And God bless you.
Are we going to
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And as we finish, let me request
Thank you very much.
any pastor, any bishop, anybody in the room inspired to pray for us so that we can go and sleep.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. From Kenya here.
Oh, Priscilla?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me mute everyone and then you unmute yourself. Maybe before you pray, vote of thanks to Dr. Gioko. I don't want to assume. Anybody to say thank you, Dr. Gioko?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Gioko. Always inspiring and always to the dot. Well versed with everything. Thank you for the inspiration.
Awesome. Okay, prayer.
Okay, let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we thank you tonight, oh God. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to come here and assemble here from different countries, oh dear Lord, even to learn together. Oh Father, we want to thank you for our facilitators, oh Father. They've done such a great work, oh God. Father, may you bless them. Our dear Lord, even as we continue learning more and more, Father, may you help us even to be able to implement and do what we are learning here, oh dear Lord. Father, we want to thank you even for the great things, oh God, and great knowledge and wisdom you've given unto them, oh God, and to us in various areas where we work, oh dear Lord, Father. We pray, the Lord, you're going to use that even to take us to great heights, oh dear Lord, in our schools, in our institution, oh God, where we work, oh Father. May we be the one to bring light, oh dear Lord, and changes that we need in our society, oh God. Father, may you take us through, may you bless us, oh God. And even, Lord, as we go to bed, oh Father, may you bless us, oh dear Lord. May you give us a peaceful night, our loving Father, dear Lord. We pray for rains, which are just enough, oh God, but not destructive ones, oh dear Lord, for your blessings, oh dear Lord, because no, your blessings don't bring suffering to your people, but they bring peace, oh dear Lord. Father, we want to thank you for you are a good God, Father. We invite your presence to be together with us. Guide us in every day. Guide us in every thought, oh dear Lord, and our motives and attitudes to be good, oh dear Lord. Bless each one of us, bless our families, oh God, and give us peace that comes from you, Father. Jesus Christ, we pray and believe. Amen.
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 Maybe you open your videos, we have a screenshot.
Amen.
Gallery. Okay. Let me have your smiling faces.
You are not smiling yet. Mine has refused.
Thank you very much. Today we went to a high of 70. That was very good. Don't miss next week's session. Don't miss next week's session. I want to apologize. Professor Caroline Makaka was to join us, but something happened, and she has promised to be with us next Sunday. Please join so that you can hear from her. Professor Makaka is the CEO of Leaders of All Nations, where I and Dr. Gioko belong. And so, God bless you. Let me take another picture.
Thanks to all people from different countries. We really appreciate you from Ghana, Zambia, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Zimbabwe. We are very thankful for your time and all the Kenyans in the room. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much and good night.
Good night to you all.
Good night. Good night. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night. Okay. Bye.
Thank you.